Why does it feel like some people can learn a language very quickly and other people just struggle? Now, it is possible that psychologically, some people are a little bit more adapted to learning multiple languages. However, if you can speak one native language comfortably and completely, then congratulations. You literally have everything it takes to learn any human language. It's not because of the color of your skin or your age or where you're from that you can't speak a language. The fact that you have a brain able to process and speak one language means that you can do the same in any language. The way that you're moving your mouth, the way that your ears function, is the same as anybody in any country of any language in the world. However, most language courses are not structured in a way that works for everybody. For example, myself, I speak 7, 8 languages, but I didn't learn these in an academic context. I personally struggled with school-type language education. In fact, I failed a number of language classes. However, it's not because I'm not good in this class context that I'm not good at learning languages. I simply do not personally work with this type of system. Most language courses are built very academically, with a structure focusing on grammar, sentence structure, vocabulary, and a lot of memorization. However, you may be the type of person who doesn't really work well with this type of system, like myself. That doesn't mean that you can't learn a language though. If you're able to change the methodology, change your approach to learning the language, you'll actually be much more successful. Maybe you're a very analytical person who likes to find patterns. Or maybe you're more intuitive and you like to listen and play. Depending on what type of person you are, the approach is going to be radically different. I struggled with mathematics for a very long time until I had a different teacher who explained it in a different way, and I went from 50%, almost failing, to 99%. Do I think I'm good or bad at math? I just needed to adapt my approach. A very important thing as well is the motivation. What is your reason for learning that language? Are you excited emotionally for something? Are you afraid of what might happen if you don't? Now, this might sound like a scary thing, but it's extremely important. When I went to South Korea, I was invited to a wedding a month later. Now, I spoke very basic Korean, and I said yes to that wedding, even though I didn't know how to say bride, I didn't know how to say groom, or even congratulations to the newly married couple. That fear I had with the excitement simultaneously of thinking, wow, wouldn't it be great if I can stand up and give a speech to congratulate the people? Absolutely. And so rather than focusing my energy on every single conversation and context that I could be learning in Korean, I laser focused my energy on first having the right pronunciation, so whatever I learned would be clear and natural. Then I found out the vocabulary I would need for that context, a couple of grammar structures to say those specific things, and then maybe a few high-level idioms and expressions that I could use to actually fit in and understand some jokes and some context and feel like I belonged in that situation. And that's exactly what I did. A month later, I went to that wedding. Everything went fantastically. And using that momentum, that confidence I grew in myself and my ability to learn the language, then I simply focused that methodology and that momentum onto the next goal, and the next one, and the next objective. In my personal experience, this has been the best possible approach to use. It's not perfect, but if you have something specific in mind that you want to accomplish, whether that's a presentation, a pitch, a conference, or just a conversation in particular with your spouse's parents, for example, then that's great. You can focus your energy in one direction and then expand, more like a spider web than a circle expanding in every direction at the same time. The way that we work on language is not through memorization, but actually adapting your current situation to your objectives. What are your challenges, and what is the actual gap between how you speak and how you need to speak in the situations that you're trying to accomplish? Now, this is huge, because if you're an analytical type person, you're used to having structures, you're used to having guarantees and results that you can measure, then it's extremely challenging to move forward learning a language because it's boring and it takes a lot of time, and there hasn't been anyone able to make you sound and feel confident very quickly. Now, this is huge, and if that resonates with you, you can click the link down below and book a consultation with myself and my team, and we'll build a custom action plan for you or your team to make sure you get to those goals very quickly. Another thing to remember here is that when you're learning another language, the way that you're moving your mouth, the pronunciation, is going to dramatically affect your confidence and perceived competence. For example, I've worked with a lot of English speakers who are trying to speak French. And when they're speaking, they'll say, bonjour, j'aimerais un café. Guess what the first thing that happens is? The person responds in English. They're very limited in their ability to practice and explore, and their confidence takes a hit every single time because people are effectively refusing to speak the language with them. They can never practice. Now, they may have all the vocabulary in the world. They may have advanced grammar and expressions. But if they don't sound like they have the ability, if they don't sound clear and natural, and even more so, if they sound like they're still speaking English when trying to speak French, then of course people feel like that conversation is going on in English. You see how that's problematic? If you're trying to learn another language, let's say you're a French speaker and you want to speak English naturally and clearly, you don't have the same set of challenges because people will probably not respond to you in French. However, they will hear your accent, they may misunderstand you, they may ask you to repeat, or even laugh at how you're talking because it's cute or something like this. Now, this is challenging because rather than focusing on what exactly you're saying, they're focusing on how you're talking. They're focusing on the gap, the distance, even if unconsciously, they don't put you in the category of somebody who speaks a language well and with whom they can speak naturally and comfortably. So if you're trying to reduce your accent in English, you want to be more natural and feel like you belong in English, well, start with pronunciation. Find out what are those sounds, those patterns, those habits that make you sound different, and in some cases, hard to understand. For example, somebody told me last week, she says, hey guys, what's the team for this project? Oh, Michael, John, and Sandra. No, the team. Yeah, Michael, John, and Sandra. She was trying to say theme, and no matter how often she repeated it, she was making the same mistake. She wasn't adapting her pronunciation, the way she moved her mouth, and that created the same result over and over again, eventually leading to frustration and send me an email, I don't understand. You see this? So focusing on pronunciation first, whether you're an advanced speaker of English and you want to sound more natural and clear, or you're learning a new language, start with pronunciation. Fix that gap and adapt how you move your mouth to how that language is spoken. It will make you sound and feel a lot more competent and a lot more confident when you speak. And the rest is much easier. Whether you choose a methodology that's working with us or by yourself, that pronunciation first approach will make the whole thing much easier, and you don't need to unlearn anything in the future. I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.